you're seeing around you is Christina Varga's fabulous work. You got a chance to look around, so I'm curious to see what questions everybody has come up with to spark imagination. So again, from the book, Christina Varga, the artwork I create is a testament to my commitment to environmental stewardship, addressing the pressing issues of pollution, especially from single-use plastics and the waste associated with everyday life, creating and parenting. Using upcycled materials, I create immersive surfaces, surroundings, and environments that urge viewers to rethink consumption habits. As a mother, I strive to install my children in deep respect for our planet and awareness of the impact of materialism on the natural world and our influence on our own environments while inspiring artworks that blend creativity with ecological responsibility. Based in Phoenicia, I merge art with my passion for sustainable living and nurturing the greener future via permaculture gardening.
Yeah, that all tracks.
Yeah,
that's exactly correct. Yay! Thank you, ChatGPT. Really helped me out. I was like, how do I do this?
Yes, all right. Okay, and you might find your own question.
That's fine.
But, magic. Woo. Okay.
I didn't write it because I didn't fold them.
Is there a narrative or connections between the work exhibited?
Yes. I am, I like to say, irreverently reverent. So you'll see halos and just a lot of semi-religious references, like in that piece back there. There's always some kind of, like 222, for instance, reminds me of my grandmother who's passed. I don't know why that number became affiliated with her in that piece. There's the white holy dove spirit, which was from a sketch that I did for a piece that I've been working on. This one's called Population of Palestine. I've always been really fascinated with the Holy Land and hope to get there, but won't go while it's so crazy and violent. And also I'm not flying currently because I think that's weird and dangerous right now, but I know a lot of people do, so I don't want to give anybody any fears, but I just don't do it. There's a lot of UFO references in my work, and that ties a lot of different ones together. You'll see a random UFO, but I always have like UFO plus religion. So there's the three wise men on the camels in that self-portrait. I also made a halo out of CDs. So these are the things that sort of pull everything together. Pop culture, like Coca-Cola, big brands, a very tongue-in-cheek look at religion, which I appreciate all of them and don't affiliate with any of them. And then icons like Yayoi Kusama or Isaac Hayes or any of the, I think there's Paul Newman in one of the pieces over there. I really love all of the Snow White. So, it's like the big images that everybody recognizes, the spiritual infusion that people are like, oh, okay, I don't know if that bothers me or not. And then always reusing stuff that is around me because for a time, and not that I'm not there right now, art materials are very expensive. And so I started to look at, like, people would give me this, which was in this, you can't see it from there, but it's snakeskin. It's green snakeskin. And somebody gave it to me a long time ago. So I did an Adam and Eve thing where I used a whole sheet of it and just put apple and Scrabble letters. It's all made with stuff that people gave me, and the reverence that I have in general is a reverence also for the earth, as my statement or whatever that was said. And I try to use everything as if it was a minuscule part of a really beautiful, complete system, and I'm sequestering it into a piece of artwork instead of letting it flow in like soil. So these are all like me collecting all the junk that comes at me, uplifting them into something using their colors and their textures, and doing it with the kind of reverence, but not a spiritual reverence, more of a holistic, we are all a family reverence. And so that's the unifying message of all of my works, because that's who I am. That's kind of how I look at it. And so, red felt is in that one and that one. I mean, there's so many pieces that the materials are all, I consider some of them special though, because I don't have any more of this green snakeskin. And that's really special. That painting there, those strips was a painting done by Jeremy Bernstein, and he gave it to me, and I constantly do things with other people's artwork once they've either given it to me or someone's given it to me. And sometimes it really cheeses other people off. Usually it's
Okay, question number 2.
Yeah. Love these. Love these. This is so fun.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It's more of a surprise.
More of a surprise, right?
It's not my
You won the Oscars. Are you an optimist for the future?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. I had a TV show for 7 years called Apocalypse Varga, and I did it on Woodstock Cable Access. And it was really fun. It was an arts, culture, and media variety interview show. And we just shot shit and smoked a little pot beforehand, and then everybody played their music, and I would bleed in other people's like video art in it and all that stuff. And I was always very positively apocalyptic. Like, I was put on earth to guide people through the apocalypse. Learn to grow your food, learn to can some stuff, the shit's gonna collapse, but always like, look at this smile. Like, yay, it's all crashing, it sucks right now, so now it's gonna crash, and it's gonna be great. And so my next TV show is called The Fifth Dementia. And that's gonna also be about a really positive look at like our upward ascension into a higher dimension, which I fully believe. I have like this much quantum physics understanding, but it's rooted. And I know it's true. And we're all ascending. And I was even thinking with the plastic talk and all that, I'm like, this is all part of the process of getting really good. Because I've always had the feeling that our highest, most brilliant civilizations that have come and gone, like Mu or Atlantis or whatever, left no trace because they were biologically and environmentally harmonic. We weren't like destroying everything. Maybe it was crystalline, or maybe it was whatever, or maybe it was before, but we didn't have plastic. We didn't leave like 1,000 years worth of remnants and things like that. So I feel like we can march towards that with like, you know, with a good feeling and feeling like we can be effective. And artists, I don't know if you guys know this, but artists are always on like the precipice of the communicating to the rest of the world what's going on. We're the ones that like get the feelers, get the feelings, and then we like pour it into a piece of art, and then somebody asks us a question like this. Yeah. Right? And here we are. Yes, positive about the future.
And last question.
So I love this question. So far, none of them have been mine. And that's not my humor.
All right.
It's not my humor.
And thank you, whoever wrote these beautiful block letters.
Yes.
Well, many of them, it's so nice to read. Okay, what form of art trumps this list? And I'm not sure what is meant by that, but we can
political and also
interpret that.
Yeah.
1, music. 2, paintings. 3, writing. 4, sculpture. 5, architect. 6, your adoption to this list. Addition to this.
So, I say this
again?
No, I don't need the list, I got it. I say with like all deference to every single artist and person out there, we are all creative beings. And I find that the creative expression itself is the voice. I think that sculptors are amazing, and painters are amazing, and architects are amazing. I feel like if you're really tuned into what your voice is, that's the thing to look for, not like what's better or worse, or, you know, even when I started doing these, when I first started painting, I was like, oh, I'm an oil painter, I only work with oils. And, you know, like at some point you let go of these like decisions about what's good and what's bad and that sort of thing. I don't like ranking things. Like, is architecture it? It might be. We have to live in buildings, right? We don't want them to fall down. We want them to be beautiful. But is sculpture, I mean, you know, like the David, you know, sculpture, I mean, there's just, I don't think there's a rank. I think there is, when a frequency comes out in the work that is created by the person that is created, that is not only true to their nature, but something that is following their highest and best path, or the highest and best path of expression, without like judgment, without like, I'm so good, without any of that, you know, like that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to judge. We're here to create, and if you make something really beautiful with what you have available, or you're, you know, of the kind, you know, you're an architect, and you work for a big firm, whatever it is, what you make, as long as it's staying true to your voice and also part of the whole. So not just like me, sorry, me, and also me. But you know what I mean? It's not necessarily about you and who you are, and it's more like, look at this is coming out. It's like giving birth, pardon me then. It's like giving birth to like something that is like a child, but not a child. You know, it doesn't breathe, you don't have to feed it. Hopefully it feeds somebody else in some way. And that can be sculpture, or that can be music, or that can be all the things. I don't think there is a one over the other. So I apologize for not answering your question, but that's my answer.
Okay. All right, we've got time for one question from the audience.
So talk about the ceiling piece.
Okay, I painted this in New York City using cold wax and spoons. And it was so big, and I had an apartment. I don't know what made me work this big. And then there was this guy who I had a massive crush on, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do you, what do you want?" And I was like, $8,000. And he was like a musician, and he's kind of famous. He couldn't afford it, but he was like, so moved from New York City, brought this here, met James. He's like, I don't know how the rip got in the canvas. I think we were having a passionate moment. And by that I mean squabbling also. And there might have been furniture thrown. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But whatever it was, it went through the canvas. And I was like, fuck. You know, there's my big black canvas. So at that moment, I was like, okay, it's taken on a new shape. Then I started to cut out all the circles because I had painted it all black, and the pattern was a differentiation. So you would see the bird if you noticed in the pattern. Then I cut it out. Then I moved from my studio in Woodstock and had to store it behind the garage for many, many years. And the frames, because this was on a frame, all collapsed in. So then I was looking at it and like slumped against a wall for a long time. And I had wrapped the frame, all of it, all around the edge in that twine. I had to cut all that twine off, unwrap all that twine, do that stuff, and then I had it laying around the studio, and I had it stapled to the wall, then I had it stapled to the ceiling, and the whole time, these talons were just like hanging like this because there was nothing bolstering them. They were just kind of looked like claws. So when I installed this here, using all the twine that I had wrapped the thing with, using James's, it's flashing. Carpentry material, these talons, is like the flashing that he used to prevent water from going in the seams of a house. So I had been using his materials. He's always telling me to throw away and burn shit. Half the stuff, anything on plywood is done from James's burn pile. So he and I are totally misaligned on like the vision that I have. And that's okay because he tolerates me well. And I wrapped the claws in the twine, and it just really, this is the first time it's ever been finished. So putting these claws on. And it was so funny because the first time I hung it on the ceiling, the claws hung down. And I was like, what is this? It looks like it's swooping down, and it really came to life as opposed to being like this black thing. I think the flexibility with your work and understanding that they have different iterations maybe. And that's why I always tell people, if you like it, buy it now. Buy it now before I do something else to it, or I kick my foot through it, or do whatever. I don't care. You like it, let's go. So, because I'm a little destructo, like I just call it the Varga patina. And I'm like, oh, the Varga patina, something fall off. And it is. It's the Varga patina. Things sometimes fall off or rip or whatever. But this, in this way, really is what I always wanted to do. It is a raven, I think it's a Native American tale, a raven swooping down to grab the moon. So there used to be a moon in that space, but now it's sort of swooping down and it's grabbing whoever's looking at it. And I really love it. And I'm so grateful I could install it on the ceiling, because I don't think I would have ever been able to do this installation in a different space that didn't have all these, whatever this is, conduit. But it's great. Thank you for that question, Mia. I love this piece. That was the first time I ever got to say all that about it. Yay!